Yeah, it seems there's a local development involving the province's most controversial ostrich farm. As registry documents suggest, Universal Ostrich Farm co-owner Dave Belinsky has launched a new venture here on Vancouver Island. And a reporter who is looking into this is joining us on the line right now. Meg Collins is a Vancouver-based journalist who got the scoop with the Tyee, and she's joining us here. Hello, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing pretty well. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, great to talk to you. So first off, let's just sort of start with the background here about why anybody's interested in ostrich farms. Because I mean, it's this particular one which made such a splash a little while ago in not just local news but global news.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, I mean, a big thing about this case was that so RFK Jr. commented on it. It attracted the support of a lot of protesters involved with the convoy, and so it's also a So avian flu is a very dangerous. It has about a 90 to 100% mortality rate for farm chicken. So a lot of the community members around the Edgewood farm were very concerned, and then a lot of community members on Vancouver Island, especially with chickens, are also very concerned about this.
Right. Yeah. So, but back when the story first unfolded, it was that avian flu outbreak. They refused the call. It became a big political issue. It's all over now. Like the call eventually happened after a lot of hand wringing and global attention, and then it's been kind of quiet ever since. So, what flagged you that something was coming to Vancouver Island?
Sure. So I originally heard about the story through my editor, Jen St. Denis. So she assigned me the story. And then I had talked to some community members, specifically in Comox Valley, though it hasn't been confirmed that they're setting up on Comox Valley, though both Hewitt and Belinsky have mentioned it's a possibility for where they're going to set up a farm. They haven't bought land yet. But I had talked to community members who had heard that it might be a possibility, that they were setting up in Comox Valley. And then also Hal Hewitt had been posting a lot on his Facebook page. Specifically, he posts a lot of reels. And recently he's been posting a lot about the farm and kind of with Dave Belinsky.
And Dave Belinsky, he's the co-owner of that original ostrich farm, and then Hal Hewitt is a Comox Valley guy who I guess is involved in maybe this new one. Those are the players.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So Dave Belinsky is still 50% owner of Universal Ostrich. I confirmed that when I chatted with him a couple weeks ago. And yeah, Hal Hewitt is a local guy to Comox Valley. He also is the vice president of the BC Prosperity Project, which, if you've heard about the Alberta Prosperity Project, the BC Prosperity Project is also a BC separatist movement organization. And Jen St. Denis actually did some really great reporting about one of the moderators of the BC Prosperity Project's Facebook page, that one of the moderators, Curtis Stone, had been open about his white nationalist beliefs, including a strong interest in Adolf Hitler and other Nazi leaders, which is definitely also concerning to community members in Comox Valley, and that Dave Belinsky, who they've seen as not having the best track record, is starting up a new farm on Vancouver Island. And then Hal Hewitt, who has been known as, being part of the BC Prosperity Project, is also is starting up this new venture with Dave Belinsky. And that there's also just generally not a lot of people just don't know what's going on. And frankly, I wasn't able to get a lot of information from either Hewitt or Belinsky, so they wouldn't tell me where the ostrich is. So they do have ostriches right now. I realize I'm kind of stepping over. You're probably going to ask this, but they do have ostriches right now. There's a video of the ostriches being transported, though it's unclear where they're being transported from or where they're being transported to. But they refuse to tell me where the ostriches are being kept.
But it's on Vancouver Island?
But I believe it's on Vancouver Island.
Okay,
yes.
that's the suspicion, and there are these registration documents suggesting that they're doing something here. It's just all very mysterious, it sounds like. That's interesting.
Yeah, so their main office is based in Campbell River. And so far, that's their only kind of the business, like the location that's listed in their business registration documents.
Huh. Well, look, we're right out of time, but it's an interesting story. Just certainly some eyebrows raised up in the Comox Valley area after this, ostrich farm story made such a splash in the news back when it was going in the interior. Now, an operation here on Vancouver Island has some people up there thinking, what's this all about? And if you want to read more in the Tyee, you can read my guest's work. Meg Collins, Vancouver-based journalist and editor who writes for the Tyee. Thank you so much for sharing a bit of the story here with us.
Of course, yeah. Thanks so much.
Much appreciated. We got to take a break, though, because 8 o'clock news coming up right away on CFAX 1070. Stand by.